If you're a homeowner, listen up. This is a big one. A major opportunity to get thousands of dollars back for home upgrades is about to vanish. So let's break down exactly what's ending and how you can still cash in before the clock runs out. For the past couple of years, there's been this really generous federal tax credit that's made energy efficient home improvements way more affordable for a lot of people. But here's the catch, that program now has a firm expiration date, and believe me, the clock is ticking. Take a look at this number, $3,200. Just let that sink in for a second. That is the maximum amount you could get back on your taxes for just 1 year of upgrades. But, and this is a big but, it's only if your project is completely finished before a very final, very non negotiable deadline. So, let's get right into it. Section 1. Why is this your absolute last chance? So let me ask you, have you been thinking about a home energy upgrade? Maybe you've been putting off replacing that ancient furnace, or you've been wondering about getting a heat pump, or maybe upgrading those drafty old windows. If any of that sounds like you, well, it's decision time. Okay, so here's the backstory. The program we're talking about is the 25C tax credit. It's been running since the start of 2023, but then new legislation came along and slapped a hard expiration date on it. That date is December 31st, 2025. And when I say hard stop, I mean it. Any project not fully installed by midnight on New Year's Eve will not qualify, period. And this right here is the real-world consequence. With a deadline like this, it's like a gold rush. Everybody is scrambling to get these projects done. And what does that mean? It means the best, most qualified contractors are getting booked solid, fast. If you wait too long, you might not be able to find anyone to do the work in time. So, with that urgent deadline burned into our brains, let's decode what this 25C credit actually is. What is this thing you're about to miss out on? At its core, it's actually pretty simple. The 25C credit gives you back 30% of what you spend on qualified upgrades, and it directly knocks down the amount of tax you owe. Now, that word non-refundable, that's just IRS speak for saying it can reduce your tax bill to zero, but you won't get any extra cash back beyond that. It's all handled on a single tax form, IRS Form 5695. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The credit isn't just one giant pot of money. The best way to think about it is like you have two separate buckets of cash you can dip into each year. Bucket number one is a big one, $2,000, and it's specifically for the heavy hitters like heat pumps and biomass stoves. Then you have a second bucket worth $1,200 for pretty much everything else, insulation, windows, doors, you name it. If you max out both, that's how you get to that magic number, $3,200. And if we peek inside of that second $1,200 bucket, you'll see there are some specific limits for different jobs. For example, you can claim up to $600 for windows. For exterior doors, it's $500 max. Insulation is a huge one. It can actually use that entire $1,200 all on its own. It's almost designed to encourage you to bundle a few smaller projects together to really squeeze the most value out of it. Okay, you ready to level up? Because this federal tax credit is powerful, but it's not the only game in town. The real magic, the pro-level move, happens when you learn how to stack it with other incentives. I absolutely love this analogy from our source material. It is perfect. Trying to get the maximum savings is exactly like building the perfect sandwich. Every single layer has its place, and the order you put them on is critical. You get it wrong, and yeah, it gets messy. So here's the recipe. First, you start with your base layer, any upfront rebates. These are often big point-of-sale discounts that come right off the top of the price. Next, you add the next layer, which is any rebate from your state or your local utility company. Finally, the top slice of bread. You calculate the 30% 25C tax credit on whatever you paid out of pocket. And this is vital. The federal credit applies to your final cost after all those other discounts. That's why the order is so important. Okay, so theory is one thing, but how do you actually put all of this into practice before time runs out? Don't worry, we've got a clear step-by-step roadmap for you to follow. Let's walk through this roadmap. First, do your homework. Make sure the equipment you're buying is top-rated for efficiency. And, this is a big one, insist that your installer does a proper manual J calculation. It's a technical term, but it just means they're doing the math to make sure the system is the right size for your home, not just guessing. Okay, the middle steps are all about getting your ducks in a row. Pre-register for rebates, vet your contractor, and save every single document. I'm serious, keep a folder for receipts, model numbers, everything. The last two steps are the home stretch. Get the installation done, file for your rebates right away, and then claim that 25C credit when you do your 2025 taxes. Boom. Okay, I need everyone to pay close attention here because this might be the single most important detail we cover. The IRS is crystal clear on this. An expense is considered made when the installation is complete, not when you sign the contract, not when you pay a deposit. If the system is not fully installed and working by midnight on December 31st, 2025, you get nothing. This is not a deadline you can bend. So what does the world look like on January 1st, 2026? Does all the help for homeowners just vanish into thin air? Well, not entirely. Here's a key distinction you need to understand for what happens after the deadline. The ability to earn the credit on new projects ends. The party's over. But what if you earned a really big credit in 2025 and your tax bill wasn't high enough to use all of it? Well, the good news is you can carry forward any unused credit to reduce your taxes in future years. The window to earn the credit is closing, but the window to redeem what you've already earned stays open. And it's really important to remember that the 25C isn't the only form of savings out there. Many state and local utility rebate programs are going to continue. And honestly, the biggest long-term benefit, the lower monthly energy bills, that starts the second your new equipment is turned on. And those savings will continue for the entire life of the system. So when you think about it, the 25C tax credit is an incredible accelerator, right? It's that final push to get these projects done. But the real prize isn't just the one-time check from the government. It's the permanent reduction in your home's energy use, month after month, year after year. The deadline is your call to action for sure, but the reward, that lasts a lifetime.